Lesson 5.1 is rate of change and slope. And it's our starting place in Chapter 5. As we move into Chapter 5, this is where we learn about equations of a line. And so before we learn about equations of a line, we have to learn about slope. So, rate of change shows the relationship between the change of quantities. So you'll notice there for rate of change, it says, in the fancy words, change in the dependent variable y over change in the independent variable x. Okay, well, if you ignore the big words there, change in y over change in x is what we will often think of, okay? Change in y over change in x. That's the idea when we talk about rate of change, and that's also the same idea for slope. Now, notice what it says down there about slope. Slope is the rate of change of a line. When we look at the picture, it describes how steep the line is. Is it going up to the right? Is it going up to the left? Is it really steep? Or is it less steep and like a slow, gradual hill? So, now, you want to know how to find slope. As you do various tests, you know, I guess I don't really know what's on ASVAB, but PSAT, SAT, you know, anything that's a general standardized test, they're going to test slope. That's something you're going to see on there. And so slope, there's 3 different ways listed here. Vertical change over horizontal change. So how far does something go up divided by how far does something go over? Probably not the way you're going to remember it.
Raja Diaz and Yami Maldonado, please report to the high school office. Raja and Yami to the high school office. Thank you.
Okay. My guess is there's 2 ways you're going to remember slope. When we look at a picture and you're trying to find the slope of a line, you will hear me use the phrase rise over run. We'll talk about how far the line rises over how far the line runs. If we're given 2 ordered pairs, you're going to hear me, I usually shortcut it and say y minus y over x minus x. Officially, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So those are the pieces we'll talk about. Now, we're going to use this table first. What is the rate of change? Is it constant? And what does it mean? Do you see how this is like a table? If I draw these lines in here, can you think of that like an XY chart?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is, right? Even if it's an XY chart, that means X is over here with time and Y is over here with elevation. So as we set this up, okay, I'm going to go back to the idea of change in Y over change in X. So here's what I want you to think about. What's the change in this Y right here over the change in this X right here? So how do I find the change in something? Not divide. What'd you say?
I know what it is. I was just saying answer.
What'd you say? Okay, subtract. Yeah, in order to find the amount of change, we're going to subtract. So I'm going to do 360 minus 325. So that's my change in Y over change in X. What's my X? We'll go in the same order. So see here, since I did 360 minus 325, over here I'm going to do
325.
No, 1 minus 2. I'm getting the X in there. So I did the change in Y over change in X. What is 360 minus 325?
35.
1 minus 2?
2.
Not 2. Did you say negative 1? Okay. And what is 35 divided by negative 1?
Negative 35.
Negative 35. Now,
I don't know why is it 2 minus 1 is 2. I don't know why.
Now we're asking rate of change. This is the rate of change from time 1 to time 2, from 1 minute to 2 minutes. If we want to know is it constant, what else do we have to check?
Keep going.
We have to keep going, right? We're going to check the others. So now, next time I'm going to do 325 to 290 and 2 to 3. So again, if I go first minus second, so 325 minus 290, then on the bottom, I'm going to go first minus second again, so 2 minus 3. What is 325 minus 290?
35.
What is 2 minus 3? Negative 1. What's 35 divided by negative 1?
35.
Negative 35. Looks good so far, doesn't it?
Yes, so far.
Don't assume the next one's going to be the same, though. Double check it. Anytime we assume, we're going to get ourselves into trouble here. So, check the last one. This time, 290 minus 255 over 3 minus 4. 290 minus 255
35.
over 3 minus 4.
Negative.
And what is 35 divided by negative 1?
Negative 35.
Okay.
So 35 is the rate of change.
So, what is our rate of change? Negative 35. Is it constant?
Yes, it's the same area.
Okay. So, yes, it is constant. And it's negative 35, right? Now, it's identical. That's what makes it constant, the same thing. What does that negative 35 mean?
How much it decreases each minute?
Okay, so, and why are you saying decrease?
Because it's going to pass.
Okay, there's a negative, yes? Okay, that tells me that. And then notice, what are we talking about here? This is where you go back. If we're being asked, what does it mean? Go back and use words from the table. We're talking about a hang glider elevation. As you look at the elevation is
Going down.
going down. It's going to go down. Notice all of these were
Negatives.
negatives, but they all were 35 over 1, right? So that is 35 feet per 1 minute. Okay? And that's what I'm going to write here, is the elevation is decreasing 35 feet per minute. Elevation is decreasing 35 feet per minute. So it is important you are able to figure out what's going on here. Okay? Important you're able to figure that out. Questions on that one?
No. I think that was pretty easy. It's not easy, but I mean, there's a lot.
It wasn't too bad. We definitely have done worse, right?
There's a lot of. Oh yeah, we've done worse, but there's a lot of
Okay.
steps.
Let's look at the bottom of this page. The directions are very basic. Find the slope. Now, we get to look at pictures.
That is very nice looking
Okay.
pictures.
As we look at these pictures, when we talked about definition of slope up above, I said when we have pictures, we're going to use which definition here? I want to use rise over run, that phrase, when we talk about pictures. So in order to do the slope of this line, we need to find the rise, and we need to find the run. Now, in order to find the rise and the run, you need 2 points
You?
On the line.
on the line. On this particular problem, on these, I don't have the points on here for you. And so this is where you need to find the points. Always look to put the points. If I say at a cross section, does that mean something to you? Like at where 2 pieces of the grid cross?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where our points should be. So let's decide as a class where some good points might be. And I think these lines are a little blurred. The quality of the notes is not great here. I think there's a little bit of a shadow or something, but let's see. Where are some good points? I think where I'm going to put them, I'm going to put 1 there. Left
Yes.
3, up 1.
Yeah, that's just gonna try to see.
And
Did one go over to the right? I think go up.
Left 3. You mean right 3? Left 3?
how about right 2, up 3?
Wait, what? I don't know.
Come here, Sam, to the high school office, please. Come here, Sam, to the high school office.
Oh, never mind. It looks like they connect everything.
Right there, but I found it.
Okay, well, those are the 2 points we're going to use. Whether you agree, disagree. Math Excel will probably give you points, I would think. And I'll try and give you points better in the future, like when we do a review worksheet or test. So, okay. I don't know how you guys have been taught in the past. Rise. What direction do you think of for rise? Up. So what I tend to do first is I tend to find my lower of the 2 points, and I tend to ask myself, how far do I go up? How far do I rise to get to the level of the next point? How many boxes or units do I have to go up to get to the level of the next point?
2.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, kind of.
If we're going up to the same height as the next point, I'm going to go up 2. And because I'm going up 2, up means positive, yes.
Yeah. And if you're going down,
So we're going to go up 2.
And if you go down, that's negative.
Correct. Now, if rise is me going up, where's run?
Down.
Not down,
Over.
over. Run is me running back to Ryland. Okay, so run is your left, right.
Negative?
So now, how many units are we running?
5.
That's what I have in my head.
Okay. We are going over 5. Did we go left 5 or right 5? I moved right 5. And if I go right 5, that is a positive 5. So when you go up, it's positive. When you go right, it's positive. When you go down, it's negative. If you go left, it's negative. So my slope is 2/5.
Are we doing this from the back page too?
Okay. Well, good. Let's keep moving here. Okay. Let's see. Where do I like some points? You guys got some points you
I
see?
did 1 on the. I did 0 and 2.
Yeah, that's
Maybe 0 and 1 or 3 and 0. What if I do like this?
Yeah.
Just trying to kill us. With too many points.
Okay. I'm not trying to kill you with 2 made points. What I'm trying to do, though, because I know what I'm unfortunately doing, is I'm confusing you with 2 made points, right? But here's the deal. You run into a situation like this. There's more points than what you need. How many points do I need to find slope?
2.
2. Pick 2. It doesn't matter which 2 you pick. All of our answers, if done correctly, will come out the same when you reduce them. Okay? Does that make sense there? What 2 do you guys want to look at?
I can't see where they're at, so.
Whatever ones they want to, I don't care.
No, I said that bad.
Yeah, I can see how it is. And my dad's. And they're showing me that.
Okay. I say, I can tell you're much more focused when you have your glasses on. Well, I put a dot up here at 0, 1. I put a dot over here at 3, 0. 6, -1. What is that? -3, 2. -6, 3. Or shoot, -6, yeah, 3. Okay, pick 2 points.
I don't care. Done.
Find your rise over run between them.
I got it already.
Now, if I pick, I got a stray mark on my board there. If I pick, let's see. What happens if I pick those 2 points? You see the 2 points I put the arrows at?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to, what's my phrase? Rise over run. Now, I like to start at the lower point. That's my personal way of teaching. How far do I rise?
Up 1 over.
I just rise 1. Now, how far do I run?
-3.
I run 3. Which way did I just go 3?
Left.
Left, so that is a negative. So I have a slope of -1/3. And when I write this, I would probably just put the negative out front and say -1/3.
Now, why would you do that?
Do what?
To make it like the
Just so it's -1/3.
Yeah.
Say 1.
It could be either way. Honestly, the only thing I would say, I don't care where you have your negative sign. Math Excel might be picky about it, but I don't care. Now, real quick, what if game? What if I picked 2 different dots?
Same thing.
You would have ended up with the same thing. If I would have instead picked like these dots that are way far apart, it would still work.
Yeah, because you just reduce it.
Yeah, because here if I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 left is -12. What's 4 over -12?
-4.
Well, reduce 4 and 12 can both divide by 4, and it's -1/3 also. You could have got -3/9. You could have got -2/6. Oh, we got 2 more to practice slope on? Okay. Can I go quicker on these 2?
Oh, okay.
I guess the key is you have to have points, don't you?
Is that first one 0, 0? I can't tell.
No, it does not go through 0, 0. I would put it going through 1, -2. And -2, 3. I think are the points I have. What's my phrase? Rise over run.
Am I saying run or one?
I'm saying run.
I don't know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying, but
I don't know either.
okay. Rise. How far do I rise?
7.
3. 8.
Well, I don't know. I did
Random
2
number.
dots.
I don't think I've heard the right number based on my 2 dots.
Yours is probably 5. Oh, you guys got up more than that. 4. 5.
6. 7.
5.
You guys are making this more difficult than it needs to be.
Well, mine's 7.
Well, then you probably don't have 2 numbers I'm actually considering dots. Again, these lines aren't the best. Okay? So if you use my 2 dots, you get a rise of 5. What kind of run do I have?
-3.
We're going left 3, and so -3.
If you just come out, you
Mine is,
actually learn.
I got a
can't stop.
-4. Because this is what we're going to do.
Okay, so -5/3. That negative can be anywhere. What'd you say, Ryland?
I got a 7 with a -4.
Okay, so you had, I see the other dot you used, but that's not the dot I picked, so. So, if I gave you a line like this, I would put 2 dots on there and expect you to use my 2 dots.
Yeah.
Okay? Because technically what you have is not correct, because it's not equivalent to mine. However, I see what you did because you used that point right there, didn't you?
It looks like it's on.
And I get it. It does look like it's on, but it's not supposed to look like that.
Well, 0, 0.
Okay? No, this dot right here. And so, anyways, I see, it's notes, so it's not a big deal. You've got the right idea, though. If you're going to tell me -7/4, I understand where that came from. It's just not right based on what I was thinking the dots should be. I will make sure that come test time, it is more accurate, right? So you know what to look for. Okay?
This next one's gonna be. Can we do down negative? We can get down 2, and then you go up 1, 2.
Okay.
Over 2.
I don't see anything down to that I'm going to use.
Look, what I'm saying. On the negative, look.
There's nothing at down 2 that's on there.
Just go like that.
That's down 1. That's not 2.
Down 1.
But, again, that goes through the halfway. Or that's not quite there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, again, if the lines were better, not so shadowy, this would not be an issue, right? It wouldn't be, I promise. It wouldn't be. Okay. Here's the points I'm going to give you. There's a point that is 1 over and 3 up. There's a point 2 over 6 up. If I redid these notes now, I would make them a lot better, but,
That's just 2 extra words.
Exactly. I just haven't had time lately, so. Okay, based on these 2 dots, what's my phrase?
Right up or run.
Okay, good. Rise of a run. We're making progress. How far am I going to rise?
Up 3 over 1.
Up 3. How far am I going to run? 1. What is 3 over 1 reduced to be?
3.
3 divided by 1 is
3.
3. Slope answers could be fractions. They can be improper fractions. They could be whole numbers. Now, as we look at this section below us, what changes?
Well,
Instead of pictures,
we got numbers.
we get numbers. So now, if you go back to that first page, instead of using the rise of a run, we're going to use y minus y over x minus x. So I'm going to set this up so we can do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I said to have calculators with you, right? What do we know about an ordered pair? What's the order in an ordered pair? Does an ordered pair go xy or does it go yx?
Y.
I don't know who said what here.
I said Y.
An ordered pair goes alphabetical. If you need to say your alphabet, XYZ is the key part, right? So, our ordered pair goes XY. So we're going to be doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, what do I mean y2 and y1?
is on
The
that
first one's
side.
1, the second one's 2.
And technically, they can each be whichever you pick, as long as you're consistent. So if you guys want to say this is x1, y, and y1, then this is x2, y2. So with that in mind, y2 minus y1. What's y2? Negative 1 minus, what's y1?
3.
3. So I did the y from this ordered pair minus the y from this ordered pair. On bottom. Now we're going to do x minus x. Whichever y we started with. Which y did I start with? Start with negative 1. So what x do I have to start with?
4.
The 4. So now I'm going to do x2 minus, what's the other x? 1. And it's just about cleaning it up. This is where I said have calculators, right? Negative 1 minus 3.
So -2.
That would be 2.
I like the negative 4. Because if you're at negative 1, and we subtract 3, so we go 3 farther left, you're at negative 4.
Oh wow, that's
4 minus 1?
3.
Less arguments here, right? And so we end up with
for negative.
negative 4/3. Okay? That's how you always find slope. So, negative 3, 2, and 1, 5. I don't know if it helps or not, but here's my suggestion. Can you go in and label x, y, x, y? I recommend that because how easy is it to get these backwards? So easy.
So negative.
Then we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What do you want to use for y2?
-3.
5.
I can't use negative 3. That's an x value.
Oh, I'm sorry.
5.
So if I use 5, there's my y2. That is going to automatically make this x2. But so then we're going to do 5 minus the other value. So y minus y, 5 minus 2. Then, since I started with the y of 5, what x do I start with? 1 minus negative 3. Five minus 2,
5, 3.
3. 1 minus negative 3,
-4. 5.
4. And here's my thinking. Minus a negative. When you're subtracting a negative, they become a plus. And 1 plus 3 is 4.
So it's okay if I flip the numbers. So I've been flipping like that.
So what'd you do here? 2 minus 5? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. No, because I didn't flip it. But I flipped the.
She flipped the whole thing.
Hold on, I don't even know. Okay.
There's only certain, there's flipping that's good and there's
We're doing
flipping
this
that's
one.
bad.
Am I flipping them?
You're good. I'm not to that problem yet, if that makes a difference.
No, I looked up my first problem. I thought I was flipping them all.
I don't know about the others, but the one I just looked at is okay. Okay. Y minus y over x minus x. Remember, in an ordered pair, x, y, x, y. What are my y's on top?
-1. Minus. The y is y is y is y. So 2. 5 and 2.
So 5 and 2. 5 minus 2. If I use 5 first, what x must I use first?
What? Oh, 0.
0. And we're going to say 0 minus Negative 1.
Still negative
5 minus 2?
3.
3. 0 minus negative 1
Just 1.
is actually positive 1 because minus a negative becomes plus. What's 3 over 1?
3.
3.
3 divided by 1 is 3. We had a little bit more time. I'd have you guys try this one and meet me in the end, but we're running out of time, aren't we?
Yep.
You guys are doing good. I think you're getting it. It's just
That's
so easy to make careless mistakes. That's the hard part here.
Would
So-
it be okay if I flipped the Y's? So if I wanted to, I'd put 2. Okay, so
Okay, so yeah, on this one, what are my y's?
8 and 1.
8 and 1. And most of you are going to say 8 minus 1, yes?
Yes.
We're going to do this one. So one option is to say 8 minus 1. Or the other option is to say 1 minus 8. Pick whichever one makes you happy. Now, those of you that did 8 minus 1, what must you do on bottom?
Do 4 minus negative 6.
4 minus negative 6. However, those of you that said, no, I want to be a rebel and do 1 minus 8, how must you continue your rebel ways? Negative 6 minus 4. Now, it'll work out in the same in the end. So let me show you. 8 minus 1 is 7. 4 minus negative 6.
2 plus 10.
Positive 10. So my answer to this problem is 7/10. Okay?
And that would be
1 minus 8
is negative 7.
is negative 7. Negative 6 minus 4,
Negative 10.
negative 10. What's a negative divided by a negative?
So it's still 1. Okay.
Which, by the way, guys, don't leave any of your answers as negative divided by negative. Realize if you get that, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay? So you can pick, as long as you're consistent, it doesn't matter which set you start with. The key is you do have to make sure it's y's on top, x's on bottom. Some of you will make that mistake, and you'll be so mad at yourselves. But okay, 2 special cases. Special cases because one's a horizontal line and the other is a vertical line. Let's go back to our phrase of, what's our phrase for pictures? Rise over run. Pick 2 points.
Right in the middle of that line.
Okay. And here's the deal. It doesn't really matter what 2 points you pick. I don't even know what I picked. Just pick 2 points on that line.
I think this actually.
What is the rise? How far do you rise?
0.
They're on the same level, correct? So it's 0. Now, how far do you run between your 2 points?
4.
His is 2, his is 4, mine's 3. It doesn't matter what number you put there. You can say 100. What is 0 divided by all of our numbers? 0. What's the lesson to be learned here? A horizontal line always has a slope of 0. Every single time. Okay? Because when you get 0 on top of something, you get 0. Now, over here, we obviously have to talk about a vertical line. Pick any 2 points you want.
We had the same thought.
And just like last time, it's not going to matter if we use the same points. What's the rise?
0.
Nope.
0.
Your rise can't be 0 unless you only have 1 point.
Mine's 6.
Oh.
Mine's 4. What's your run?
0.
None of us are moving left or right, are we?
No.
So our run is 0. Now, type your problem in on your calculator.
It says dividing by 0.
Error.
Error. Why does it say error?
Okay.
That's my question.
it's error because if I got 10 cookies and I'm trying to divide them into 0 groups, that's impossible. Okay? Nope.
Sure.
Doesn't exist. So we use the phrasing undefined. There's 2 ways you can put this. I don't remember what Math Excel uses with this one. Or
Sounds dumb.
no slope. So you can either hear the slope is undefined, or you can hear no slope.
I think it uses no slope.
Do you? See, I was going to say it uses undefined. I don't know. So the vertical slope is always undefined or no slope. I honestly don't know what it uses.
In addition to this, that it uses replacement slope.
Okay. Your homework is lesson 5.1 in Math Excel. Don't forget to do it before you come to class Monday.
We'll do it 6. Got it.